Good morning, Morocco. We're live in a Marrakesh side street right in front of the Al Azma Shul. We're in the middle of a sugya of whether or not a katan could think in his mind and it'll have an effect on, let's say, a carbon. If he had a machshava, kavana, that this carbon should be a carbon, do we care? Does it make a difference? There's actually three possibilities. Possibility number one is that he takes action and he explains the action with words. It's machshava with a maisa. We call it a machshava. It's really a dibur with a maisa. That's for sure good. Then there's another one. There's just machshava, just a thought. Just a thought is no good. And then there's going to be some people that we don't really want in the picture, so you're going to have to be careful to go this way. Okay. And then you have the in-between one. You have one that the katan takes action, but he doesn't explain what the action is. It's noticeable what he means. We think we understand what he wants, but it's not clear. So that's what the Gemara is discussing. The Gemara says like this. We already discussed, Rabbi Yochanan once discussed this, that when you are able to discern what his machshava is, he didn't explain it, but he did something. He already said that what the halacha is. What did he say? Hamala peirosav legag mipnei akenimo. So I'm going to show you a video. I don't have it with me. I'm going to push this button. And Ariel is going to show it.
Min hatoire, fruits aren't mekabel tuma unless they were first muchshor lekabel tuma. And there are three t'nayim that need to be in place in order for the fruits to be muchshor lekabel tuma. The first t'nai, that they shouldn't be mechubar lakarka, because as long as the pri is mechubar, it's not mekabel tuma at all, even if water fell in it. As the pasuk says, zera zarua asheri zareya taharhu. The second t'nai, that one of the shivas mashkin should fall on them, which are machshir them lekabel tuma. Yayin, devash, shemen, cholav, tal, dam, mayim. The third t'nai, that this should be l'rtzoin haba'alim, because if water fell on it shaloi l'rtzono, it's not mosher. As the pasuk says, voyiton, and Chazal were dorish ke'ein yitain, midas uvel rotzoin. And only after the pri is tolish min akarka and one of the shivas mashkin was put on it, b'rtzoin haba'alim, now the pri is mosher lekabel tuma. And if a davar tommy was nigain it becomes tommy.
This is a famous halach in Shas, and the guys did a phenomenal AI job on this. Beautiful, mamish. Very little humor, a lot of pshat, but high class. And this is the halacha of muchshor lekabel tuma. What does it mean? When you have a fruit, you have a pri, you have any kind of food, it's not mekabel tuma unless you sprinkled it with water and you thought at the time that this is in order to unlock it and enable it to be mekabel tuma. Now, if somebody takes fruit and puts it on a rooftop because it's wormy or whatever, and he wants the rain to come and wash it off, that's not muchshor lekabel tuma. You have to have in mind that specifically for the hachshara lekabel tuma. So when a person puts the fruit on the rooftop for a different reason, he puts it there because of the worms or whatever it is, that doesn't count. But what if he switches his mind? He's an adult, he puts it on the roof for worms, and then he says, you know what, I want it to be on the roof so that it rains on it and there'll be muchshor lekabel tuma. That's good. But what about when a katan does the same thing? So says the Gemara, it says in the Mishnah, it's not. Hamala peirosav legag mipnei akenimo, because of these little worms or whatever, you'll see it in the video. The yard aleim tal, and then dew came on the roof. Ein b'chiyutan, that's not part of the chiyutan. But if he had good intent, in other words, after he put it on the roof, harei b'chiyutan, that is good. That's our case now. Somebody without das, a cheresh shoydev katan, aval pi sheniskaven l'kach. After he put it on the roof, the cotton thinks, oh, I want it to be muchshor lekabel tuma. No good. So what do you see from here? That the Katan's Machshava here, Katan Machshava doesn't count. We don't care about his Machshava. And we're holding, and we'll get to the next place, and we'll do it again. Rabbi Isai Yishkoyach. Rabbi Isai, we're here in the Sahara Desert. And we're going to continue the shir with some camels. We're about to go. It's shkia time, but we've got to learn some Torah over here. So the Gemara, we're talking about whether a katan has machshava or not. What does that mean? Can you do a maisa? Wait a minute, maybe I should take this off for a second. Oh, that's a little bit better. So the Gemara says like this. Didn't Rabbi Yochanan discuss this before? So the Gemara says like this. This is the Gemara's question. Doiraisa the Rabbanon. Yes, Rabbi Yochanan discussed it. But I want to know, is it full-fledged Doiraisa, meaning that I could use the katan's machshava even when it creates a kula? Or only, in other words, that I could say that it's a real carbon in kachim? Or only midrabanan that we could be machmer? Rabbanon could be machmer if they want. So they could say, oh, this fruit, because of the machshav of the katan, it's considered chiyutan, it's considered mukhshal kabel tuma, and it's now tameh, but that's only a chumrah, that's only the rabbanon. So that was the Gemara's question. To be continued.
Hold.
Okay.
Hey. Hello. Wait, candle here.
Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok Masni Hacha. The whole sugya, but just in a little different way. Show all the camels over there, meanwhile. You don't need to look at me. Omar Reb Chia bar Abba Boi Rabbi Yochanan. Katan, yesh li maisa or yen li maisa? Same question that Rabbi Yochanan asked before. Whether or not, when you take action, that's obvious what you're doing, but the katan didn't explain it, didn't articulate himself. Let's say with the oila, he was making oila, but we don't know exactly what he was doing. He took it from the south to the north. Similar to what we said before, but the opposite. Why don't you ask me about machshava? What are you asking me about maisa? Maisa machshava, why are you asking, why machshava you didn't ask me? This is not, because it's a mefurish mishnah, machshava. Maisa nami, loiti boile. This is not, yesh la maisa. The same mishnah tells you that there's machshava, and that there's no maisa. Maisa nami loiti boile. This is not, yesh la maisa. Says Gemara hachikam boile. Like just like we said before, the shaila is the iraisa the rabbanon. Do we say that it's the iraisa that you could even be mekel with it, or it's only the rabbanon? And then just lahachmir. So just to go back, I don't even know what we were saying on the camel over there. So we'll go back 3 lines just in case I missed a word or two. So the Gemara says like this: hachikam boile the iraisa the rabbanon. Once again, this is the second time we had it. The main question we have, if a katan, when he does an act that there's no dibur, no explanation, do we say that we use it even in a dairaisa situation where you have to use this as a kula, or only in a darabanan situation where you use it as a chumrah? It's not a big, everybody could be a machmer. The kunz is to be a mekel, and to say, hey, you could use this kid's carbon, he shechted a carbon, and to say that you can use it, and it's a good oil, you don't have to bring another one, that's a tremendous chiddush. And that was the question. Can I even use it in a situation where you have to be mekel? Or no, just, they're okay, you machmer. To say that something is tameh is not a big glick. Upashit, and what do we come out with? Yesh lahen maisa. That there is maisa vafilu midoiraisa. Meaning, that if, let's say, the animal's in the south, and the kid says, I'm taking this animal to the north so I could shecht it for a carbon, that even midaraisa, I'm going to use his dibur, his maisa that has an explanation. Ein la machshava. But when there's no explanation, like putting the fruit on the roof, and the kid decided that he wants to use the water as a machshel kabel tuma, and then it's not gonna work. But in the third case, so let's talk about all three cases and just as wrap it up. These are the three cases. Maisim Dibur, we said that even Midairaisa works, so it's green. Machshava, just a machshava by itself, nothing, zero. Now, when you have a Maisa that is Muchach, that's the blue one, it's so obvious from what he's doing that he's trying to accomplish something. Even though he didn't explain it, he didn't articulate it. It's still, then what do we have here? Machshavta nikeres mitoch ma'asav, like he brings this animal from the south into the north without explaining midiraisa ein loy, midarabana yesh loy. So that you can't use midiraisa. Why? Because he didn't explain. But midarabanan, you could use in the mashal. What's a good mashal? Like he took the fruit on the rooftop and flipped it over. He flipped the fruit over. Why is he flipping fruit over? Was he crazy? He has a bunch of apples, 100 apples. He went to every apple and did a 180 on it. 180 or 90? A 180. Did a 180. Why would he take every apple and flip it over? Because he wants the water to hit all sides. Mamela, that's a chiyutan. Boy minei shmul meravuna. Another question. Minay lemisasik b'kadoshim shehu pasul. If a guy is shechting around animals in the Beis Hamikdash but has zero intent for kachim, zero intent that he should do shechita, like the situation with the knife, let's say, through the knife, shu pasul. How do you know it's no good? The Gemara is going to bring us two psukim. And the Gemara is going to explain why we need two. You have to have intent for this carbon. So a lot of you were at the Hebrew chair, remember? We're in that tent over there. What's the Gemara's question here? So those of you who are with us for Zvachim and Menachos know that one pasuk is not enough in Kachim. When it comes to Kachim, you need two psukim. Why? Shana olav hakasav la'akiv. Yeah, that's funny. It stops. Shana olav hakasav la'akiv. When the Torah repeats itself twice, that means the Torah is serious, and you have to do as is. What's the second pasuk? It should be to your rotten with your das. That's how you tizbachu. That's how you shech. Great. So here's the question, Rabbi Yisai. When you have a guy and you're oimed al gabav, you're standing there as a mashgiach tmidi and you watch him shech. Is it good shechit or not? A lot of people were fooled by this question. Can a guy shecht while you stand there and you watch him and you make sure he doesn't do shehiyah and he doesn't do drisa, and you say l'shem mitzvahs matzah, you do the whole shema thing? It says the Mishnah, shchitas nachri nevela. The shchita of a idol worshiper is considered literally a nevela, whether a yid is standing there and watching him or not. His actual shchita is a terrible thing. It makes it a nevela, but only a nevela. What's worse than a nevela? Avodah zarah. Since we considered it a completely nevela, and I want to repeat this again and again because I feel that a lot of people get confused. And even though I repeated it a few times in the last few days, I think it's good to repeat again so you can tell your friends, remind them, go to shul and tell them. A dead horse, and a dead cat, and a dead dog, they're all matama. They have tumas nevela. People get confused and they say, oh, the Shmoyne Shrotzim are matama. Yeah, they're also matama. So what's Shmoyne Shrotzim? What's special about Shmoyne Shrotzim is that these small, what do we call them in English? Creatures? No, a rat is not an insect. Reptiles and creatures, there's only 8 of them that are matama. So some of them are not matama. Like a frog is not matama, toad is. There's certain things that are not matama. Yeah. So a dead cow is just like a dead horse, just like a dead dog and a dead cat. Matama be maso. If you carry it, you become tameh. Nevela says the Gemara, Isar Nalai, wait a minute, you just told me that if a idol worshiper shechs, it only is limited to the Isra of Nevela, and it makes you tameh, but it's not as severe as Avodah Zarah that makes it usher to even benefit from it to sell it. Matana, who's the Tana? Or the Rabbi Eliezer. The Rabbi Eliezer, if there's Rabbi Eliezer, Omar Stamach Sheves Avit Kechavim La Avodah Zarah. If it goes like Rabbi Eliezer, he says, no, any idol worshiper that shechs, you cannot benefit from it. You can't sell the thing. Now listen to this. What does it mean? There's an incredible chiddush in this line of Gemara, especially you folks. Oh, maybe you're reading from the official edition, so you have the English. But you know what it says here in this Gemara? It's not as simple as it says. Again, we'll read the words. Ha'amar stam machshavas avit kechavim. When an idol worshiper has a machshava, it's l'avodah zarah. You know what that means? That means that even if a Jew shechs it, the non-Jew's machshava goes into the shechita, and it becomes tikroivus avodah zarah. He has the right, since he's the owner of this animal, he has the right to decide this animal is avodah zarah, and he didn't do the shechita. The Jew did the shechita. No good. Next, Rebami Omar. Rebami doesn't really argue. He says Hachikitani. Let's read it differently. Ha shchitas nachin avela hadmin. If it's a person, a regular non-Jew that's an idol worshiper, I don't care about. His shchita is not avodah zarah. But if you have a min is the next level. A min is somebody that loves avodah zarah. And we're talking about somebody that's Jewish. And a guy that's Jewish that does avodah zarah, la avodah zarah. Everything he thinks, he's a frummer. He's mamish a frummer when it comes to this stuff. And everything he touches avodah zarah. Shem avodah zarah al piv, unfortunately. Everything he does is avodah zarah, avodah zarah. MMAlo, we have some interesting halachas. I'll ask the Olam. I forgot. I only asked it in the Hebrew. It's a riddle that you know, so you can't answer. It's for the people online. In what situation do you take the Shem Hashem and burn it? Now, if I would ask you, in what situation do you take the Shem Hashem and you erase it with water, then everybody knows. That's a saita. But in what situation do you burn it? Burn the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, you're allowed to burn it. Not only you're allowed to burn it, you have to burn it. And the answer is, as we're going to see here, the Gemara says, Tanir lahad Torah Rabbanan, shchitas min. You have a Jew that's completely off, a kaifer, la avodah zarah. You should know that his shchita is for avodah zarah. Pitoi pas kuti. In other words, he can't benefit from it. His bread is the worst of the worst. He can't call it pas palter, or regular bread, because there's a concept called pas palter, which means bread of a non-Jew that's baked commercially. It's not also like a bread of a guy, a bread of a kuzi. Yeah, this is pas kuzi. This is the worst bread. And the isser is for chasnos. We don't want to intermarry. We don't want to get friendly with them.
What's he What's he thinking when he makes this bread?
No, not the bread. Time out. Let's go back. That's for the shechita. The shechita is l'avodah zarah. I'm shechting this carbon too, just like a Jew would shech it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he shechs it to the idol.
So what's wrong with the past?
His past, nothing wrong with the past as much as chasnus, the intermarriage thing. That's what's wrong in the past. Because we treat him in the worst. He's Jewish and he's the worst of the worst. This guy is an avodah zarnik from top to bottom. We gotta be super careful from here. If you eat his bread, before you know it, you're marrying his daughter, and before you know it, you're working for him in the avodah zarah business. Yeino yei nesach, and his yayin, it's unbelievable. Now listen to this. Listen to this, Rabbi Isai. Sfarav. His Sefer Torah, Nevi'im Iksuvim, are burnable. Not burnable. You must burn them. It's a Sefer Torah shekosvei min with Shem Hashem. You take the Sefer Torah, put it in a fire. That's what you do. Crazy stuff. Sifrei Kaismin. It's like the books of Sfar Sifrei Kaismin. They're like books of Avodah Zarah that was written l'Shem Avodah Zarah. Even though it's a real Sefer Torah, every word is perfect. It has a beautiful ksav. He's top cipher. But we treat it as Avodah Zarah Sfarim. And they must be burned. Perois of Tfalim and its fruit, we consider it tevel, Isser to eat them without Trumas U'Maisus. V'yashoimrim, af bonav mamzerim. We have to be concerned that his children are mamzerim. Why? Because his wife is hefker. He couldn't care less what his wife does. The Tanakama ishteli mafkir. No. There's one thing about a person who's not shomer Torah mitzvahs, but that doesn't mean that he's mizalzel on his wife and he lets his wife be hefker. Amamar shchitas nochri nevela. The shchita of idol worshiper is considered a nevela. As Gemara Shema minu. Why aren't we concerned that perhaps he's a person that really does strong avodah zarah and it's more than just an avela? It's also bana. The reason is because we don't have people that are frumers today. As the Gemara, what do you mean? There's a lot of priests, there's a lot of people that are very devout, and they think about avodah zarah yom v'layla, and their shchita would be towards avodah zarah. Says the Gemara, ein roiv umois minam. We're going to go with the roiv. Most people, and what comes to mind is people that I know in the United States. So I don't know if that's everywhere, and I don't know. I'm just for the few people. A lot of Christians, Catholic, they're not very strong like the previous generations. They're the week they go to church, they on Sunday, stamped what? Like reform, like you should go like no, they call them today. What do they call them? And a Jew would be a Misorati, maybe not traditional. It's light, Catholic light. Sovar law. Ki had Omer Reb Chia bar Abba Omer Reb Yochanan goyim shebechutz laaretz lav oiv avodah zarah hein. These chutzniks are they're not the real thing. Why? They do it out of habit. Elo minig avisaini biyadaini. The minig aviseihem biyadeihen. They have a minig. This is what they do. They don't know why they do it. They don't know how they do it. They do it, but it's not for real. It's not like they have this machshav every time they shecht an animal. L'shem avodah zarah. Omar Rabbi Yisrael ben Yomi. Omar Rabbi Nachman ein minim b'umois. Okay, so what does this mean? So now he's not repeating what we just said, even though it sounds the same words. What he's saying is the halachas of the min, the guy that does avodah zarah in the nations, the goyish min, has different halachas. What does that mean? Lamai to tell me that a shchita is okay. Hashta shchitas min the Yisrael amers asira levikichavim and baya. Obviously, if a Jew who's a min, his shchita is terrible, it's like avodah zarah. So a guy that's a guy and that's avodah zarah, it certainly should be a problem. Ella, this is incredible halacha. It's so incredible. We did a video for it. Ella l'maridin, that if a guy is a min, you could not only, you don't have to save him, you could actually throw him into the pit. Hashta the Yisrael meridin. If you could knock out the Jew that's a min, certainly an idol worshiper. Omar Avukva bar Chama, no. Pshat is lekabel mehem karban. It's not pshat that it came to tell us that you're allowed to throw him into the pit, because that's pashat that you can learn from a Jew. But the pshat is that I could accept a carbon from him where I cannot. Here's a situation where a guy is in a better position than a yid. I could accept the carbon from a min guy, a guy that's oived avodah zarah, but not from a Jew. This anya. Mikem v'loy kulchem. I could take a carbon from some of you, not all of you. Loytzi samumar, not somebody that's off. Mikem, but only from you. B'chem chilakti v'loy be'umayis. I've only done this between you and the minim, but not in the nations. When they have a min, somebody that's oived avodah zarah, you're allowed to accept the carbon from them. Says Gemara, Mimai. Who told you? Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I could be medayik something else. That okay. But when it comes to the Jews, only take from people that are not over the Zarah, from the tzaddikim, not from the Rishayim. But when it comes to the non-Jews, don't take at all. No, that can't be. Why? That shouldn't even enter your mind. The Sa'anya ish. Why? Okay, ish, a man, but why two ish? The rabbis, we all know the difference between a neder and a nedava. A nedava is zu, meaning I point to this animal, specifically this animal is what I'm going to bring as a carbon. So if this animal dies, I'm not mechuv to bring anything. A neder means I am going to bring a animal. So if this animal dies, I'm going to bring another one. A guy could do both, a neder and a nedava. Next sugya, umitame b'masa. And since when this guy does shchita, it's an avela, so it gives off tumah like an avela, b'masa. Pshita, what's the chiddush? Kin avela, umitame b'masa. Obviously, if it's an avela, it goes hand in hand. That's how it gives off tumah, b'masa, when you carry it. Masa is the lowest level. There's something that's even more than that. What could give tumah more than an avela? Huh? The kroiv is avodah zarah. Avodah zarah is the worst of the worst. That what? According to this one man, if you have a piece of avodah zarah meat in the corner, this entire tent will be tummy. Literally, what a kiss from Hashem. We're in oil. We're in oil. Oh, let's show the oil. And there's something that if a min shechs, then the entire oil, the entire tent becomes tummy. This is avodah zarah. Okay, this goes according to Rabbi Meir. Some say the opposite. Not that there's something that's different, there's something just like it. That what? We hold that the krevis of avodah zarah is not mitama boil. An avela is only mitama when you pick it up. It's not mitama. If you put a dead horse in this tent and somebody's on the other side of the tent, he doesn't become tameh. That's only if there's a human being, a dead human being in here, or according to Rabbi Meir, an animal that was shechted avodah zarah. But this man says no, you're not mitama, even avodah zarah. That it's not mitam boil, not like Rabbi Meir. This time Rabbi Meir Oimer minayim the krevis of the zara she mitam boil. Rabbi Meir says, how do I know that's mitam boil? Shenemar the yitzmedu lebar par is that of we just discussed that one relieves himself in front of it. The yoichlu, what they eat meat, and what do we call the meat? Zivchei mesim, the zevach of a dead person. Ma meis mitam boil. After krevis of the zara mitam boil, it's similar to a mace. Now let's learn the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, shoichet b'laylo, b'chein hasuma sheshochat shchitasik sheira. If you shecht at night, it's okay. What's the problem with shechting at night? The problem is you can't really see. What can you see? You can't see the simanim, whether or not you shechted a roiv, most of the simanim. Oh, the Gemara is going to talk about a light now. But it seems like it's only b'diavad. It's not a good thing to do. V'chein asuma sheshachad, and a blind man who shechted shchitasik sheira b'diavad, as the Gemara points out immediately, and we're only doing these 6 lines. Hashoichet diavad in chatchila loy. It seems like you shouldn't do it. V'remini, but why not? It says loylam shoichetim. You could always shecht lechatchila ben bayoim ben balayla. This is mefurish. You could shecht at night. What's the problem? So that's the question. Now, just to finish off the question, it says ben bereish agag bereish asfina. There's a problem shechting on top of a roof. You might be doing it for avodah zarah, Rosh Hashanah. You're doing it for the gods of the ocean. Rashi says over here that you're allowed to do it if you're in the middle of the ocean and you need to eat meat. So Tais says, what do you mean? But it's a first Gemara, you can't. So Tais explains Rashi that it's talking about where it's obvious, and then Rashi points it out. It's obvious that he's shechting it because you want to eat and not because you're doing avodah zarah. But what Rashi meant to say is that he's spilling it, he's shechting it on the bow, on the other side of the ship. It goes down the other side of the ship. And it's obvious that he doesn't want the blood in the ship. That's why he's doing it like that. But to do it over the water, extend his hand over, it would be also taka. I call pardon, what's the question? You see from here that you're allowed to shech at night, even l'chatchila. So why are you telling me, and why does the Mishnah seem like it's only b'diavad, only after the fact? Says Gemara, Papa, we're talking about when there's a light. Turn on the light. Mamish, a kiss from Hashem. Omer Ravashi, Daikanami. I'll prove it to you. And Ravashi's done this many times in Shas, a Daikanami. And it could be, I was just throwing this out because he wrote Shas, so he felt like he wants to prove it from the Mishnah. He says, Diktani, Hasam, Dumi Diyom. Over there, what does it say in that brayse? Bein ba yoim, bein ba layla. So let's put them in the same category. What does day have that night doesn't have? Light. So the night is like the day. The night has light. How? You turn on a switch or you put on a candle in those days. But it's talking about a night that's similar to the day because it says them together. Yomi Malayla. So just like the day has light, so too. But let's talk about our Mishnah. So that Bryce is talking about lechatchila. In the first place, I can go ahead and shecht if I have a light. If I have a shlachtos that has beautiful fluorescent lighting, LED lighting everywhere, so I can check just like I can check during the day. Not even a problem. It's not even a beginning of a problem. Where does it become a problem when you don't have light? V'hacha, in our Mishnah, dumi the summa. A blind man never has light, unfortunately. He's always blind. So when it says in the Mishnah that he's shechting at night, it means in the dark. And there's a problem because then you don't see that he did Rav Simonim. Shma mina. Rabbi Isai. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the night in the Sahara Desert in your tents.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.